Welcome back to our Tuesday vendor review. Let's see if this week beats out last week's Halls of Fabrication lead. It's a tough one. First up, the Scholarium. We have Bound Affix Script Force, adds force, a buff increasing critical damage. Bound Affix Script Uncertainty, adds uncertainty, a debuff reducing weapon critical damage. Bound Focus Script Immobilize, adds an immobilization effect. And Bound Signature Script Wayfarer's Mastery, adds improved functionality of skill line passives. Okay, let's head over to the Telvar Merchant. All right, let's see what Here's the Stone has.
This is all.
Okay, let's skip jewelry for now. First up, we have Betnik Treasure Map. Of course, Betnik's going to give you Armor of the Trainee, but also when you dig up a treasure map in Betnik, you have a chance to get Ancestral Orc belts or staves leads. However, this is going to be much cheaper off of traders, so I would just get any Betnik treasure maps you might want off of guild traders. Our scripts this week: Bound Affix Script Innervation, adds Innervation, a debuff reducing critical damage. Bound Focus Script Disease Damage, adds disease damage. And Bound Signature Script Fencer's Parry, adds deflection of next direct damage attack. Next, we have Fragment of Herseed. This is for the Roar Verdant Green skill style. This one drops out of the Craglorn Delve Herseed's Haunt. Remember, these are guaranteed drop your first time doing the thing, so I would probably just go do it. 5,000 Telvar is pretty steep for that. Our leads are a little bit exciting this week, though. First up, we have Dov-Rha Sabaton Lames. Now, everybody gets excited as soon as we see a Dov-Rha Sabaton lead, because the leads for Dov-Rha Sabatons Mythic, they're just horrible. But this one is probably the easiest one. This one comes out of Northern Elsewhere safe boxes. So it's still a little bit annoying to get, but not nearly as difficult as the other ones. So, but for 25,000 Telvar, it is here. Next one's a little bit better. We have Lead Wolftail Sash. This is for Harpooner's Wading Kilt. And this one drops from Merkmeyer Foul Water Fishing. So it's a little bit difficult to get to. So what you could do is go to home tours. I'm in the sewers right now, so I can't. Find somebody with Lake Meyer Zanmere Manor, and then just walk out the door to get an easier access to the foul fishing. But there's still not a whole lot of fishing holes, and it's still a little bit difficult to get. So yeah, I'd be tempted to buy this one for sure. And then our jewelry, we have Amulet of Bulwark Ruination, as well as the ring, and we have Marksman's Necklace and ring as well. Okay, time to head over to Infinite Archive. We are now in Infinite Archive. Let's see what Filer Ool has.
Ah, immortal.
First up, we have Somerset treasure maps. Yet again, your best bet's probably going to be to go to guild traders and get this. But if you're curious, Somerset drops Grace of Gloom, Griffin's Ferocity, and Wisdom of Vanis. You also have a chance of getting one of 4 book furnishings if you know the associated eidetic memory for those books. Okay, Archival Riddles. Consume 20 Archival Riddles to unlock the Archival Veteran Achievement and the Veteran of the Infinite Body Art. Here's the Veteran of the Infinite Body Art. This is one of those fragments that drops with your daily Infinite Archive runs, as well as randomly throughout the archive. I do think that this is way too expensive at 7,000 archival fortunes when you need 20 of them, so I would just keep doing your dailies. It'll eventually drop. Bound Affix Script Intellect and Endurance, adds Intellect and Endurance, buffs increasing Magicka and Stamina recovery. Bound Focus Script Poison Damage, adds poison damage. And Bound Signature Script Knight's Valor, adds improved use of bash or blocking. Our style page this week is Narianeth's Mask. This drops out of Crypt of Hearts 2. These masks now only drop for about a 4-day window, so you have to wait for the window, and then you have to farm the heck out of the dungeon. I think all the masks are worth it, honestly. The hard mode does give you a better chance of a drop. This hard mode's not terribly difficult. I still say just buy it, honestly. All right, companion equipment, medium armor. I usually don't recommend getting armor for companions from here because it is bound and you're at the mercy of RNG for traits. Fragment of the Winterborn. This is for the Silverbolt's Vibrant Yellow skill style and drops out of Spindle Clutch 2 on the final boss. Again, this is a guaranteed drop if you run Spindle Clutch 2. You can do that on normal and get the fragment. If you run dungeons at all, I would highly recommend just running the dungeon rather than spending 5,000 archival fortunes. Our leads. Face of the Serpent. This is for Ring of the Wild Hunt and drops from the Elden Hollow 1 final boss. This one's not terribly difficult, but you will have to run the dungeon several times more than likely. And lead Wildsmith Anvil. This is for the Alien Blacksmithing Station and drops from the Westweald World Boss Falls Glade. As far as I know, people are still running the Westweald World Bosses. I would go ahead and at least try to get this one by running the World Boss. However, it is here for 5,000 archival fortunes if you feel that that's just too much work. All right, Psijic Glow Globe's Ancient Texts. This, of course, is for the Psijic Glow Globe emote. It is one of 7 pieces that you get out of Sunhold in Somerset. These do have a pretty decent drop rate, and they're really inexpensive from guild traders. Looks like TTC tells us this runs about 600 to 750 gold on PCNA. I doubt it's too much different on EU, but let's take a peek at what that looks like. I recommend just picking this up from a guild trader or trying to farm it yourself. 7,000 archival fortunes seems pretty steep. Okay, and finally our books. We have The Spotted Towers. We did see this one recently as early as last November, but it drops out of Infinite Archive. The eidetic memory is in Telvanni Peninsula. And then The Waters of Oblivion, this one is a first. It drops out of Scrivener's Hall, which has a notoriously horrible RNG drop rate. To get books out of Scrivener's Hall, you have to know the eidetic memory, which in this case, all I know is it says bookshelves various. UESP says that includes Cold Harbor, so I would assume bookshelves in base game. However, in order to get this book from Scrivener's Hall, you will need to kill the little imps, get their keys, open the chests at the end, and the drop rate of these is pretty horrible. So whenever we see something from Scrivener's Hall, I suggest to just go ahead and grab it. If you don't have the eidetic memory of either of these any week, I do put these in my guild halls on both PCNA and on EU. My username is spantifical in-game as well. Just travel to my guild hall, which is listed in house tours, or you can visit my primary if you have an add-on. And you can learn these from my house. They'll be in the greenhouse. Just look for the greenhouse. All right. We're going to run a couple arcs of Infinite Archive and see what new gear is dropping this week, because that also changes on Tuesday mornings. We just wrapped up 2 arcs of Infinite Archive, and it looks like we have gear dropping from Reaper's March this week. That includes Cinch's Bite, Skooma Smuggler, and Soulshine. And then also from High Isle. That includes Blessings of High Isle, Steadfast Metal, and Sister's Scowl. Don't forget, if you break down Steadfast Metal, you do get Stendar stamps, which are worth just a little bit, so that might give you an extra reason to run Infinite Archive this week. Okay, that's going to do it for this week. We'll see you in the next one.